Hey beautiful family, so I'm recording this from a quite not so glamorous location, which is my backyard with my washing, but I want to talk about an extremely phenomenal, awe-inspiring location and a story that happened to me in that location. I was away recently and I went to a place called Ngorongoro Crater. Ngorongoro is Maasai word, and this is a conservation area. Within half a kilometre you have Maasai herding their cattle, and then you have wild herds of wildebeest, zebra and prides of lion, etc. And they all live together in a managed area. And due to living together in that managed area, the crater is one of the best protected places on the planet, and at the same time being one of the most biodiverse, wildlife population dense places on planet Earth as well. Many people call it the cradle of life. It was once like Kilimanjaro. It collapsed on itself, leaving behind a crater with extremely fertile soils. And that leftover crater is what I want to speak about. So I went there with my friend Emmanuel, and of course, due to Corona, there's nobody around, it's totally quiet. And the car got a flat tyre. And it got a flat tyre at 4 in the afternoon. We met one person in the crater who had some Tanzanian tourists with them looking at the wildlife, and then that was it, we were on our own. So, unfortunately, as you may hear, we have a problem. But it couldn't be in a more beautiful location.
When I say run, you run.
I'm telling you, I'm going under the car. Something comes. It sounds not a Simba. What? What?
I have a problem.
I know. So, I'm currently in the Ngorongoro Crater, and I've always said this is the most beautiful place on Earth, and some people call it the eighth wonder of the world, and I agree. It's basically this crater from a collapsed volcano, and in here, on these rich, nourished grasses, you have vast herds of wildebeest, zebra, buffalo. There's everything. There's elephant, rhino, there's a coalition of 5 male lions in here. There's nearly 50 lion population in this area. It's really just unbelievable the amount of life that is inside this 26-kilometer crater. But there are rules here, and you're supposed to be out before the sun goes down, and the sun has gone down because my car has a flat tire and the spare has a locking wheel nut and I don't have a key to get it. So I'm stranded in what I believe to be, for me, is the most beautiful place on Earth. And I've always wanted to sleep here. And it would look like that we might end up doing that a little bit, because we've got people on the phone, but we are in the wilderness. It takes a long time. Even to get from the top of the crater down into the crater takes a few hours, because you've got to go winding up to the top of the crater and winding down dirt roads. So we are very cut off from society, more than we both, me and Emmanuel, both have been in a very long time. So it's beautiful. There's no humans around. I'm surrounded by wildebeest and buffalo. I know the lions are here because I saw them earlier. I know the rhinos around because I saw him earlier. There's hundreds of flamingos everywhere. There's just, everything is beautiful. And we are here. Very rare do people get to see it, but we're here to see sunset in the Ngorongoro Crater because my car is unable to move, so every cloud has a silver lining, they say. So we were stuck in what I deem to be one of the most beautiful places on earth. People call it the eighth wonder of the world. In this country it's advertised as the eighth wonder of the world and the cradle of life, many will call it as well. So I've always said I would love to sleep in that crater, but the rule is you've got to get out before dark. And to get down into that crater you have to climb the mountain it formerly was and down the crater rim, and that takes hours, so leaving at 4 gets you out before dark. There was this point of realization that here I am and I'm getting what I wished for, in a way I didn't expect, of course, and it was overwhelmingly stunning. First and foremost, on this crater floor there are 75 lions living there, and we were there in the center of it. Herds of wildebeest, buffalo, zebra, there were warthog around, we'd seen the rhino just a few minutes before, elephant were there. I had a nighttime sighting as well, which I'll tell you about shortly. Sitting in the crater as we were enjoying ourselves and taking in this sunset in a location where most never get to see a sunset, and seeing the change in the atmosphere and the sounds and it happens here in Tanzania when the sun goes down, there's a shift in the sounds, the nighttime sounds begin, the other animals come out to play. And you could hear the hyena and you could hear the zebra almost laughing at each other as they do, and it was just so nourishing. But then there was this moment, and I've spoke of these moments before, but this moment, bang, it hit me so hard. I realised that I was probably at that moment one of the freest men on planet Earth. Here I was away from society, I was stuck inside a vehicle, I couldn't leave the vehicle, there were lions around, etc. As I say, buffalo, elephant and rhino as well, you don't want to be jostling with on foot. I was stuck in the car, yet I felt like the freest man ever. And the reason being was, as I thought of everybody I know and love, they were locked in houses, many of you, on lockdown for this pandemic. And not only that, but you are locked away from the ability for your 5 senses to hold you in the presence of life. Because when you're at home, there's no wind blowing on your face, there's no alteration in temperature quite often, you have a steady temperature. The food you can anticipate, very often people don't go hungry, they don't choose to fast, etc. They don't know what hunger is, most people, they have no idea what it means. And all of this starts equating to something, and that something is sensory deprivation. You can't hear anything, you don't hear the leaves blowing in the wind, etc. You're in a silent room, no wind, constant heat. It's like we are building structures to try and draw us back to the source of all reality. I've always said, surely at one time there was a white corridor with a constant tone travelling along this white corridor and nothing was happening. And that is the essence of creation, the core foundation. And all of a sudden a door appeared, another door, a break in the music to start creating gaps in the tones to create a song, and all of a sudden all of these little breaks and hiccups and pains and sufferings and joys and happinesses and benefits and wonders that we experience start manifesting from this just constant white flow of light. And it's like we build properties and homes these days to try and reconnect to it. We try to cut off as much as possible from this reality and get into that silent space. But the problem we have is, unlike a monk who will sit in his cave and get quiet, we get into a sensory deprivation state, and instead of seeking to medicate that sensory deprivation internally, we medicate it externally. And because we are locked in these sensory deprivation tanks that is a Western style home often, we start medicating with screens and substances and junk food and everything we shouldn't be doing just to have the senses stimulate. But if you're out in a place like that, your senses are alert. That was the first time in my life
where I knew if I stepped out of that vehicle without weapons, because I didn't have any, I was not top of the food chain. I was on the menu. I was back to basics before our ancestry passed on intelligence and innovation and invention. Everything that has made us what we are today, speaking to one another now in this moment, it all comes from that technology, innovation and intelligence in part. It all comes from there, as well as our ability to communicate, our love, compassion, our ability to live together in communities. It brought us to where we are. But I was without the innovation and technology, and I had one other person with me. There was not a group of men with me. You know, 100-strong group of men can walk through the bush and scare away lions often. But two, no. You are back into that natural food chain before intelligence grew to the level that we separated ourselves almost fully from it. These days we have, with the weaponry, etc. we have. I was there. And I was pulled into this very sovereign state. And in this very sovereign state, where for the first time in my life, getting out the car meant I was on the menu, I felt like a natural man. Now, I'm not saying the modern man is a problem. The modern man's beautiful. We have eradicated many diseases, etc. We have got clean water. We can have food security for our children. We are developing from a primitive state, and we are still primitive. You know, we can't guarantee the happiness of our children. That's the evidence I need for that in this world. We are still developing from that state, but we have come a very long way. But somehow, underneath all of that societal man, underneath all of that civilized being, there is still the animal framework that we must express that through and grow that within. And I was dragged back to that animal framework of realizing that I'm an ape on two legs to some degree, and I'm in a natural world where if it weren't for this and my ancestry and myself, then most likely we would not make it. And because for certain where I was there, I was on the menu and I was easy pickings compared to the other animals around me. And to be put there, I've been that place in meditation, I've been there with psychedelic journeys, I've been there with long distance exercise on an empty stomach, I've been there just in general living here with the tribes, but that day, on that moment, right there as the sun was setting, that hit me so profoundly hard, that there's a animal framework that I belong to, and when I got to there, the sovereign identity, the being I am before society tells me what I am, was very subtly there, but in a very loud way. And I could feel it. I could feel my natural self. My words will not do this justice. I was free. Beyond your reckoning, I was free. Especially having come from a locked down country as I had in Germany, etc. I was free. Stuck in a car, but the freest man on earth. I felt just free. So, really that's what I wanted to tell you. That I was gifted this feeling of freedom from a flat tire. And I needed it. And it was beautiful. And I wish, and I hope my words have done it justice, but I wish for all of you that you get a time in nature where that is exposed to you. If you're in America, there are places you can do that, I know, but to have that exposed to you, as I did here in Africa even as well, was just so profoundly overwhelming and life-changing. It really was a moment of absolute clarity and epiphany to me that I was there, now, right on the edge of now, and I had no option but to be there. Because there was no thought or technology, etc. had to pull me away. All I could do was sit there and wait and hope for other humans with technology to come and rescue me. So eventually they did come and rescue us. I managed to contact the wildlife management area manager who we support the anti-poaching rangers with this year during Corona. And one of the rangers drove down into the crater to find us, and we were able to leave and eventually get the car fixed the next day. On the way out, Emmanuel was blessed. He saw a leopard right next to him at the side of the road. I was super blessed that down next to my car door was a giant porcupine. Its spines were up to here on me. They were shaking and rattling as he walked, and even the ranger said he'd never seen one. To see a porcupine like that was totally mind-blowing for me. But there were endless other nighttime sightings, elephant and buffalo, etc. It was truly just an absolutely phenomenal and beautiful experience that we all shared, that me and Emmanuel shared that day, and even the drive out with the rangers was truly beautiful as well. So I just wanted to share that time with you, this time of freedom I had, and just say there's something deep down underneath the sensory deprivation that society has enabled for us. And I'm not saying we have to live there. I'm not saying we should put on a loincloth and live in the bush. I wouldn't want that. It's too tough. It sounds romantic. It's not easy. But I'm just saying if we can find ways to touch that place, it's almost as if it breaks apart all of the things that the world has told you you are supposed to be and says, wait, before you are all of those things which are very beneficial and you need to be, there's something underneath you, and that something is very uncarnal, and it's very here, and it very much dwells in a space we call Eden, in my eyes. And that was what I touched upon, the freedom of Eden. Before all of this addition of technology and addition of society and education, there was just this humbling moment of, you are not on the top of the food list here. You are in nature, you're an animal, and you are on par with all of them. The only separation between you is the fact you've got a car to sit in and hide. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful memory. I hope I've done justice sharing that with you. Big love. Bye.
Themba ungalahla uthando ngibona wena.
No longer fear the unknown, cause I know what I am here for. I keep on trotting on my own path, keep on learning from my present and past, yeah. When I no longer need validation, cause my story is long and I'm patient. I know that I have lessons to learn, keep my eyes open each step I earn, yeah. No need for me to feel alone, cause I got a place that I call home. Every single road travel, every single new place, I come back home, they accept me with grace, yeah. When I know that I was meant to be here, and I know that I was born into fear, but I will stand tall in the lion's den, cause I know in my heart I am one of them. That there are lies in the facets of everything that we see, that are telling us to be scared when all we ever are is free. I'm letting go of the things that don't serve me no more, cause I am holy and sacred and righteous and true, and I deserve to be here, and so do you. Said I deserve to be here. But I'm in a constant transition, constantly changing vision. Story never certain, there is always a revision to be made. When I think about the demons I have slayed, I am not afraid of confrontation in vain. To the people that seek evil, not as peaceful as I look, with a warrior at heart, so precaution must be took. But I'm trying to give in to the lessons that will soften my ways and means of changing, cause I talk to spirit often. Tell me to stay sharp, tell me to stay present, tell me to ignore the fools and focus on the sin. Well, I said I will starve my ego and I will remain strong. I will make mistakes and I will often be wrong, when I'm perfectly imperfect and I'm only here to learn, and all the evil on the path gets burned. I said I'm perfectly imperfect and I'm only here to learn, and all the evil on the path gets burned. That there are lies in the facets of everything that we see, that are telling us to be scared when all we ever are is free. I'm letting go of the things that don't serve me no more, 'cause I am holy and sacred and righteous and true, and I deserve to be here, and so do